What's up, dude?
Still recovering from PAX 8, but, in a good way because, we've got a lot of work to do, a lot of interviews to process. My foot still is like, it's getting better, but it's not 100% better yet.
My eyes are up here. Do you have me in the wrong part of your monitor?
What do you think?
Oh,
yes, of course I do, because I'm trying to multitask.
Don't do that. I got interviewed by a pig. So,
okay.
I was waiting for you to react to it before
Is this like the Bigfoot and the Yeti reels that we're seeing all over TikTok and Instagram?
Jamie Greenwood from the Cyber Pig interviewed me, and he does this thing where he dresses up as a pig. I don't know why. He hasn't really explained it. I thought it was really funny, being that I'm a Jewish kid from Long Island. I was like, is it okay that you interview me? Because, you're a pig. He's like, as long as you don't eat me. I was like, that's fair. Cyber Oinks.
Cyber Oinks.
The number one pig in cybersecurity. Jamie Greenwood. Yeah.
Nice.
It was funny. Yeah, let's see. After PAX 8, my team's getting in the swing of things again, and we're building out some pieces and doing what needs to be done. There's a lot, I wouldn't say turmoil, but I would say there's a lot happening right now in our industry, in our business, in Virtua. And so good or bad, something's going to happen. I don't know what, but that's the fun of it. It also makes me not sleep. I didn't sleep well last night. I actually woke up, weirdly enough, I had this dream that there was a sink overflowing in my house, which obviously was my house in my dream, but it's not my house in real life. And the sink was overflowing and it was creating bubbles, not big bubbles, soap bubbles, all over the place. And I was I said, Michelle, who's in here? And I was like, oh, look, it's that darn cat. And then I just woke up and I was like, we don't even have a cat. I don't know why. And I think I said it out loud because Michelle at some point went, what'd you say? And then I turned over and we were both snoring, so I don't know.
Yeah. And one of the reasons why I was a little late for our recording today, by the way, was
they don't know that.
I had to do a little plumbing
oh, really?
work before I got started today, yes. But can I tell you just how nice it is to be able to order parts off of Amazon?
Oh my God, yes.
And not have to go somewhere to get them?
So here's the thing. Michelle brought home a new bidet attachment for her toilet because we're trying out one of the Panasonic Japanese bidet toilets. But because plumbing in Japan is different than here in the States, we need adapters for everything. And the adapters we need, the instructions from Japan were you have to go to Home Depot and buy these very specific things. And I was like, I'm not going to Home Depot for a 30-cent piece. I'm going to order on Amazon. Not available on Amazon. So I'm like, ugh. I should have gone yesterday because yesterday, at the time of this recording, yesterday was June 19th, so we were closed. So I actually got really productive yesterday. I had a new stereo installed in our 2005 Nissan, 2 years ago, maybe longer. How long have I been married? 15 years. She got it for me for our 10th anniversary. Oh wow, that car's 5 years old already. But they put a lightning cable in, so I had to I needed to switch it for USB-C. So I'm elbow deep in the middle of a console of a 2005 Nissan. And I have a client texting me being things are broken. And I'm we're closed. But yeah, I don't mind doing a little plumbing here and there. I'm weird because I like fixing things, but
right.
But then the mundane, you can't tell, but there's actually a hole in my wall back there that's covered. I do not want to fix it. I don't care. I don't want to do plaster, and I hate painting.
But I can't see it, so therefore
it doesn't exist. Yeah. Much like birds, the hole isn't real. But yeah, I don't mind doing that kind of stuff. Enough of this, though. We have other things to talk about. Near.
Customers don't want to have their support call answered by a bot. And if a real live human being answers the phone, they don't want to have to struggle to understand them. What your customers do want is a tech support specialist who speaks plainly, clearly, and has the skills and knowledge to help solve their issue. You want your customers to enjoy that kind of excellent experience. Give your customers what they want without blowing your budget by partnering with Helped. Help's US-based experts answer 24/7 by 365, serving as your help desk. Check out atmsp.link/helped. That's atmsp.link/HELPT for more info. Traditional vulnerability management is outdated, disruptive, and costly. Nodeware offers MSPs a better solution. Continuous 24/7 vulnerability scanning, even during business hours, with no network impact. Deploy it remotely via software agents and sensors, eliminating the need for extra hardware and on-site visits, saving you time and money. The multi-tenant dashboard with built-in remediation guidance and patch management makes it easy to identify, manage, and remediate vulnerabilities quickly, helping you better protect your clients. Visit atmsp.link/nodeware to learn more.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the All Things MSP podcast. I'm your host, Justin Esker, and always with me is Robert Harry Jr. Jesus, dude. This has Robert Harry Jr., Iron Man, if it was powered by beard oil. Do you at least, do the beard oil and, trim and...
Yes, of course.
Do the whole thing?
I do.
Another winner for today would have been Jonah Hillbilly. I feel like that should have been a better one.
Well, it's here for a while. I'm not going to say how long because I don't know yet. But we're just going to see whether or not it takes on a life of its own and strangles me in the night.
If it takes a life on its own, don't feed it after midnight or get it wet, because then it's technically a gremlin. If you want to vote for Eric to get rid of his beard, let us know at facebook.com/groups/allthingsmsp and just write, get rid of the beard. What's going on, man? Big to-doings. First, let's just do a little news. Did you see that massive breach this morning that Google, Facebook, and
I did.
The world basically was 16 billion users?
Now,
I don't get that because there's only 8 billion people in the world.
Well, multiple accounts because you got to have your side account.
Yeah.
But now I haven't read the details because I've been up to my eyeballs today in other stuff. But is it existing data that they just all compiled into one, or is this actually something new?
So I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. Okay, so basically, Google is telling, according to this article on Forbes, which was updated the day we're recording this, it's saying that Google is telling billions of users to replace their passwords with much more secure pass keys. The FBI is warning for people not to click on SMS. Duh. It is why stolen passwords are for sale in the millions in the dark web to anyone with a very little amount of cash is required to purchase them. According to someone who I can't pronounce his name, but Cyber News, who's been researching, 30 exposed data sets containing tens of millions to over 3.5 billion records each have been discovered. And it has been confirmed that the record has now hit 16 billion. So that is login credentials stuffed with compromised passwords. I mean, in all fairness, so I already got an email from a client today being like, I saw the news. Should we change everybody's password at work? No. Why? Because you have two-factor authentication already on. You don't need to worry about this. Exactly. What you do need to do is tell your staff, stop buying Google Play gift cards when the quote-unquote CEO says, I need Google Play gift cards. We as MSP should know better than just run this article as is, right? Because right. There's so much here. And this is really you know who I need to tell to change their password? My mother. Right? Because I guarantee you her password is Justin. I'm just saying.
I doubt that's actually true because I'm sure that, well, for most applications now, you have to include, at least a number and a special character. So
right. Justin one exclamation mark. But yeah, I mean, stuff like this, it's just, the one thing I don't like about this is obviously it's fear mongering, right? Because that client who wrote to us today being like, we should change all the passwords, including all the administrative accounts. I'm like, no, because you're just going to cause chaos. And there's no reason for that when everything is already secure. And clearly you don't know how any of your systems work, because if you did, you would have ignored this article and realized it's not for you. It's for the quote unquote layman that's not being taken care of by an MSP or a competent IT person.
Well, and also I would believe that this has more effect on personal accounts than it does on business accounts.
Oh, 100%.
Because a lot of times business accounts are required to have 2FA, right? As an MSP, sometimes that's, you just turn it on and you make them use it. But in the home personal environment, it's much more, I guess, easy to choose convenience over security. And quite often people do, because they don't think they have anything to protect in their Facebook account. But
I mean, I definitely don't, but that's
just not
beside the
true.
point. But like the other thing, like what's big on this is they're talking about the mass of it, right? And you know, strong password management is essential in light of mega leaks such as this one. I mean, it's 2025, honestly. Like everyone needs to use two-factor authentication. But what they're really pushing for, and the big part of this, is for people to start using passkeys instead of passwords.
Right.
We've been talking about passkeys for a long time now. You know, my thing with passkeys is that like, you know, you need somewhere to house those passkeys. Now, Apple, I don't know what the Windows folks are doing in this world, but on Apple, the new passwords app for Apple is holding passkeys. 1Password hold passkeys. Those are good because in order to get into iCloud, you need to know this stuff. But like the other third-party password managers like Dashlane or LastPass have already been breached before. So like if someone can get into your Dashlane account, who gives an if it's a password or a passkey, because it's still going to be out there.
Yeah. And, you know, that's always kind of a concern, you know, with storing that credential, because if somebody steals whatever that is stored on, then it's not going to do you any good. I don't think there is a great answer yet. I think there's an opportunity for a disruption in the credential space,
right,
that you know, maybe we'll see in the next couple of years when AI invents it. See what I did there?
You got to go there. I was going to give an answer, and then you just threw me off the tracks with that last sentence. I've had, you know what's really cute? Like as we're having this conversation, my computer just pulled up a picture of you and me from Aces Salt Lake City.
Aww.
No offense to the two of us, we look way better now. Yeah, you threw me with the AI thing. I've had a couple of conversations this week alone with people saying like, what's your thought on AI? And I was like, okay, let's get into it. Because, you know, ChatGPT is great at coming up with beard nicknames, but...
Oh. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go. It's all you. Don't mind me. Just
Sorry. I should not have blurted out loud when the thought came to my mind.
No, please. The listeners are on the edge of their seats right now.
So I'm going to throw myself under the bus again. First of all, because this week's podcast literally just launched as Justin and I were starting to record this show. And so Justin has not had the opportunity to see the thumbnail for that episode yet.
Shit. Podcast. We're going to do this in the words of Bill O'Reilly. Let's do live. Oh, it's a picture of Snoop Dogg.
That's for the podcast. Yeah. The thumbnail, or the tile, I should say. What you really need to see is the thumbnail on the YouTube channel.
Somewhere along the line, someone's going to make you take it down. It's not me. I don't care. But youtube.com/@allthingsmsp for anyone who wants to see this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to this. Pax8 Snoop didn't share. Unify. Oh, you're getting me with the Unify platform. Yes. What's funny is, like, for the listener, it's like I sent Eric earlier today. I got a message from someone on LinkedIn that was like, "Hi, Justin. I lead strategy at random person here, and I saw you were at Pax8. Sorry we missed you. Here at company, we're building an AI-forward MSP platform with a unique partnership model." No, that's all I wrote to Eric. I just wrote no. Would love to connect and swap notes. Here's my note. No. Yeah. I can't stand the buzzwords. I can't stand the thing. I also don't like that the generated image of me still makes me look fat. And I want you to fix that also. Speaking of looking fat, when was the last time you looked at your website? It's not an ad. This is actually what we were going to talk about today, but I haven't found a way to transition into it.
Segue.
Awesome segue here. By the way, one of my favorite segues of all time is because I watched this movie over the weekend with the kids. I try to get them into it. In Spaceballs, when Lone Star goes, the sun's going to come up soon. It's going to be real hot, and then they dissolve to a picture of like a blazing sun, and John Candy as Barf goes, "Nice dissolve." It's such a great one-liner. I love that scene. Anyway, yeah, let's talk about websites today because I don't have a good way to segue into it, and I just want to get into it. Your website sucks. Not you, Eric. I'm talking to the listener, right? Your website sucks. My website sucks. All websites suck. We should redo them all. But the question is why, how, and what is really going to be the benefit, like the best part of it. And like, can we talk about SEO and data. Let's get into a little bit of like what converts properly and things like that. I can't tell you the amount of times consultants who have come to me, and I'll do a consulting gig with them. They've come to me and they're like, "Hey, why am I not getting more customers?" And I'm like, "Well, and truthfully, I'm not even kidding. I'm like, your website's garbage, right? Because they either A, haven't updated their website in years, or B, they're writing in too much. What'd you put down into too many buzzwords, right? There's another one. Too many buzzwords on a website. And this one always gets me, especially for Apple consultants who seem to target design firms. If you have like a colored background, let's say you have like a blue or a gray like section, and you have company logos in there, but you didn't take the time to like transparent the white around so you have a white box with the logo inside of it on your blue background. From a design standpoint, that looks absolutely garbage. And you're like, no, we take care of design firms. Really? Which one helped you with your website, dude?
Yeah. There is no longer any reason for poor design. Like, AI can help you with that. Canva is super helpful at creating websites, especially website designs. There's no excuse for poor design anymore.
There is none, right? And I think the virtual website, virtualcomputers.com, I think it's a pretty solid website, right? It's sectioned off. It has its things. We update it periodically with content or whatever it is. But even at that, even though I think it's a good website, I still think it's not modern anymore. Like, I think it was hot when we launched it we must have launched it before COVID. So we're probably going already on 7 years of that design. Like, that design is not modern enough. Even though it is clean and it works and it's got good UX, it's not modern enough. But it is way better than, I went to someone's website the other day, and by golly, their website was like, I went to their domain and it auto filled in the rest of the URL with /home/homepage.html. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when it like auto filled in. And I was like, I don't even want to see what this renders, because as soon as it renders, I'm going to vomit my mouth. And lo and behold, I did. Right?
Okay.
But like, it still had copyright 2015 on it. Like, the guy's still in business. I'm like, bro, it's 10 years.
20 years ago, I was putting a calculated field in there so that it would automatically always be the current year when you brought up a page and it had the copyright notice at the bottom.
At least get something right. Like, that's not a hard thing.
But it's worse than that. What is worse than that?
Getting hit by
when it comes to having a website.
Oh, by a website. Having a WordPress website that gets hacked and littered with ads and porn.
Okay, well, yes, because the impact for that is
I didn't know
really, really bad.
So yeah.
That happened recently to somebody that I know, and yeah. But no, what I was thinking of that's worse than that today
Yeah.
is if you don't have HTTPS configured correctly
Oh, yeah.
or don't have an SSL certificate for your website.
Yes.
Um, because even as a vendor, like if I'm going to look for more information on you and I see that your website is not secure,
Yeah.
peace out, Girl Scout. You know, like no, because
Yeah.
if I can't trust you to secure your own website,
Exactly.
yeah,
No, I know exactly where you're going. And that's the thing, like customers see that also, right? Like if there's things on your website that you're like, we're the most secure company, we're a unified platform securing all of your things, and then you don't have HTTPS or you have some other BS on there. One of the ones that I do a lot also is anytime I see somebody's website, the first thing I do is I throw in /WP admin at the end of their URL just to see if it loads. Right? I'm not trying to break in, but I want to see
right.
if it loads because if it does, that tells me that you don't know enough about security also to like change the slug. Like it's not even hard to do it. It's a free plugin to do it with WordPress. So there's another one. There's so much. You know what else is another bad one? And for the listeners, I'm sorry, we're kind of doing this top of the head, but like another bad one that I see a lot is either having a blog or having social media links that don't have current content. Like if your last blog
Oh,
article was 3 years ago, or you have links that you're like, you have that box at the bottom of your website that's like, check out our Twitter feed, even though it's not called Twitter anymore.
mm-hmm.
And like it's from 2019 or whatever it is. Like that tells me that you're not paying attention to your own stuff. And we've said this before, like you got to eat your own dog food. Like you have to have that stuff updated.
So another one for me is not having it optimized for mobile. Like
Mm,
again, with the design tools that are out there today,
yeah.
being able to have a website automatically adjust and look decent for mobile is you have to do it. Like,
I can tell you that the Virtua Consulting, because I'm doing this live with you, the Virtua Consulting page doesn't work well in mobile because of the company I'm using to host it with, which you're right. Like, I need to reach out to them and say, make it better. The Virtual Computers page is pretty good. It like squares everything out into like a more holistic thing. But at some point, the graphics get a little weird because I agree with you. There, I think at this point, and probably something I need to invest in is have a mobile version of your site, not necessarily convert your full page. Like both my sites are trying to convert full pages to mobile, so it's not rendering like 100%. Maybe it's
right.
90%. But like even having a complete mobile only version that makes it easier to navigate is something. But I've also seen that go the other way where there's mobile only versions and it is completely broken.
Okay. So I agree with that absolutely. I want to put a scenario out there though, and to show people why this is important. I'm Joe business user or Joe business owner, right?
Hi, Joe.
Something happens to my computer. I cannot do things through my computer. I cannot bring your website up through my computer. So my only choice, my item in hand is my phone.
Mm.
And I'm looking for an MSP who can help me fix my computer because I have a presentation due in an hour. They need to be able to find you and, you know, you not look bad
Mm.
on a mobile device. I mean, that's just bottom line because there are going to be situations like that where they need somebody in a hurry. And if you don't look right, they're going to go to the next person.
It's another one that I talk to a lot of marketing people, and this is going to be like a little nitpicky, but the amount of people who don't put some sort of contact information above the fold. So for those who don't
Oh,
understand what we're talking about, right? The fold is an old newspaper wordage that is used. It's what it meant was like what's on the front page of the top half of the front page of the newspaper above where you actually folded the newspaper in half, like horizontally.
right.
So you can go to someone's website, and the amount of people I go to their website. First off, if you have a loader on your website and then it's like a big graphic thing before it gets any contact, I'm already pieced out. But like right there, you should have something. I think on the virtual page, we have like click here to get help now, right? Or like our phone number is right there at the top. The amount of people who don't have some sort of like direct way to get in touch with me, that's like a normal, like an emergency bat line right there above the fold, that's another big one. And
Yep.
real quick, before we continue, Eric, if you're listening to this and you're going, I think these things that Justin and Eric are talking about is me, like pull over, take a deep breath, because like we're going fast. Like I'm realizing that we're like hitting all of these like hate points really really fast. Like take a deep breath. All of these things can be fixed, and all of these are things that you should be looking at, because again, it's really hard. It's sometimes it's hard to have that introspective, right? Like
Yeah.
what's wrong with me? I mean, I can tell you what's wrong with me, but like what's wrong with my website? um Sometimes it's something super easy. Sometimes like we have, I think we've talked about this before. um we used to have above our fold, it used to say like we're the masters at Apple based businesses. And then Paul Green, our good friend Paul Green, was like, change it. I was like, to what? He goes, you've found the masters at. I was like, oh, because like we're talking to the person. Like that makes a lot more sense to do that, right? So like there's things that you can do, and we're gonna continue on the hate train for a second. But like if any of this is resonating with you, then that's good. That's a good thing, because you're realizing like maybe I should be like looking at my website. And you don't need to pay, you can, but you don't need to pay a marketing company to look at it, because every marketing company is going to tell you something different. You don't need to pay, tens of thousands of dollars to some programmer to rewrite stuff. You just need to make a couple small tweaks here and there to make your website stand out and be better. I know a friend, our friend Steph Hilfer from Vim. She's a big fan of the no white teeth people. Like, and by that I mean like stock imagery, very bright white teeth people. So if you can take a picture of your team, use that. I can tell you that the virtual computers page does not have that. That top art picture is not anyone on my staff, but my team is so distributed, I don't have a way of getting that photo. I am doing an all hands in September, and I have all intentions of taking photos for our website, but at this point in time, I do not have one. So, like, there are those things. If your website is a completely white website with your logo and your phone number, why?
Uh, One word, Canva. That's all I'm going to
No.
say.
Oh, you're saying to fix it.
Yeah, to fix
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And not even the paid version. I think the free version will get you far enough down the path that you'll be ahead of where you are. However, there's a couple of things we haven't talked about yet that you really need to talk about before you talk about the website itself. And we've mentioned these things before. And it's your ideal client profile is probably the most important thing, because that's going to drive your audience, right? That's going to tell you who your website is being built for. And one of the things that I see so often with MSPs is that they will, when I'm talking to them, they're going to say, oh, we have a construction vertical, or we have a finance vertical. We go after a lot of accountants and financial planners and that kind of thing. But they don't have anything on their website that talks about those things in those people's language, talking about the pain points and solutions that those types of clients have. So one of the things is, if you do specialize in a certain vertical, is you've got to make sure that you have landing pages
Yeah.
for those verticals to speak directly to that type of client. Like Justin was saying with the language on the website, don't talk about yourself, talk to the person who you think should be reading your website.
So I'm on someone's website. I don't know this person. They're in a MSP group with me. It was the first person in the list that I saw, and I clicked and I went to their website. And I gotta say, I already hate this website, because, and I don't want to blow this person up, but number one, there's a lot of graphics that are not loading properly. Like everything is loading as little squares. Um, they have some sort of certification that's showing that they're best in business or something like that. But like the website doesn't even load properly. Their copyright is from 2023, even though the best in business is from this year. They do have a for immediate assistance right on top, so I'll give them points for that. But then in their hero, they use a really old technique where it has like a word written out and then it like types backwards to remove it and then puts another word to show like a different thing. So like it says like people, doctors, whatever. But like that's such an old thing to have. So like I already don't like that. Like this person really needs work. The other one that I don't like a lot, I got to be honest, I'm not going to mention names because we don't do that on the show, but you can see that it's giving me a migraine just thinking about it. There's a particular marketing service out there that will make a website for you, and everyone's page looks the exact same, right? And I get it. Maybe there's some sort of thing within the template that has SEO abilities or whatever it is. But like, if you all are using that service and you all have the same website, SEO is turning to nothing.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know that SEO has the power that it used to, right?
Oh, 100%. I'm
I
100%
think
on board with that. Yeah.
I mean, yes, people are still using Google, but they're also using ChatGPT,
Yeah.
and other, AI, generative AI for doing searches. But a lot of people are searching on Facebook now, like,
Mm.
or on LinkedIn, and you need to have a presence on those in order to be found. Your website comes into play when they actually take that next step to decide to engage with you.
I'm getting mad while we're on the podcast because I'm pulling up other people's websites from this group I'm in. This website, the hero is so massive on the front, big letters, no contact information within the hero. And as soon as I scroll down, there's just much bigger letters. I get to the bottom of the page. There's the give us a call. There's the email and a copyrighted 2020. And I found another website that is a single page. It doesn't even fill the entire thing. Like it's not auto-filling to the bottom. So there's white underneath it. Copyright 2019. Guys, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, we're supposed to be the experts. Oh my God. I have like agita from looking at this. I need to close these windows immediately. I can't take it anymore.
But it's true. Like a lot of times we let our websites slip because I think there's a couple of different reasons, right? It's because it doesn't usually drive as much business as we had planned on when we set the site up in the first place. And it's just one of those things that when you're putting out fires all day, updating your website is not a priority.
No, that's bullshit, Eric, because we've talked about this before. Okay. I'm really amped about this one. I should just start a website company. No, I'm really amped about this because we've talked about this. Like, yes, I get it. I look, for the listener, I get it. You're busy, okay? You got fires to put out. You got people coming at you. Shit's not working. I get it. I'm in the industry. I know where you're coming from. But if you're not spending an hour or two every day on your business, and your website should be looked at like quarterly, these people haven't looked at their website in 6 years, Eric. The website still says copyrighted 2019.
Yes.
Like, you really like that person? I don't know how that person's getting any business whatsoever because like anyone who goes to that website's like, you haven't cleaned your car in 6 years. Like, what's wrong with you?
That's exactly what it looks like. I love that analogy because if somebody finds you somewhere else and that leads them to your website and they're doing research on you, if they're on your website, they are down doing research on you, right? This is not just you're attracting them anymore. They've already been attracted by whatever Facebook post or LinkedIn post or email that you sent them. They are now researching you on the website. And if you don't have an updated website, they are going to feel like that's how you're going to treat their IT because it's all technology, right? So if you haven't updated your website since 2019, how is that going to look when it comes to their IT?
Yeah. Like, how can I trust you as a customer? How can I trust you, the MSP, if your own stuff isn't secure, isn't up to date, isn't these things? Like, you can go all well and good to be like, we'll take care of your Office 365 and we'll give you anti-spam and anti-phishing and anti-malware and DLP and encryption, the whole thing. But then
On a unified platform.
Oh, on a unified platform. Fucking hate unified platforms. But then again, you go and they look at your website and it's got broken graphics. It's got grammar mistakes, spelling mistakes, and copyright that's old, blog articles that haven't been updated in years. Like, if what's the airplane thing? Put your mask on first before helping others. Right? Like, there's a reason we say that. I don't know why I said we. I'm not a pilot. I hate flying. But like, there's a reason they say that, which is like, you can only help others if you're taken care of, right? Like, if you don't put your own mask on, you have risk of passing out. You need to put the mask on in order to be able to help other people. This is the same thing. If you're not on top of your website, like, I look at our website probably once a month, right? I post an article to our website once a month. That's it. It's all you really need. You don't need, I'm not saying you got to do, I'm not Gary Vaynerchuk. You don't need to do 17 social things a day. Like, that's bullshit. Like, keep it relatively up to date with some context that makes sense. Even if it's not your driving force. Like, I understand we're all migrating to like really push on LinkedIn and do a lot more on LinkedIn. But even when you're on LinkedIn, like, you go to someone's LinkedIn page. The guy who I was talking about earlier with all the graphics being squares, I noticed that one of the squares pointed to LinkedIn. Oh, one of the squares points to Twitter. And I clicked on his Twitter. This account doesn't exist. Cool. I know this person's still active because they're actively chatting in this group that I'm in, right? So it's not like this person's out of business. But like, when we're done recording the podcast today, I'm going to show you this guy's website, Eric, and I want you to call him and be like, listen, bro, I can help. But like, his link, like, you go to his LinkedIn and he's linked his LinkedIn. He's connected his LinkedIn to his website, which is the right way to do things. But that means someone's going to find him on LinkedIn and then go ahead and like do stuff. I don't want to blow this person up. I don't know if he listens, but like, his tagline on LinkedIn is talking about keeping people safe from cybercrime. Your website looks like you got hacked by cybercrime, homie. I got called out, by the way. I called my friend Tim Pearson the other day and I was like, what's up, homie? He's like, homie, I haven't heard that since like 1990. Later that day, no joke, Eric, I went out somewhere and they had like it was a bagel store the next morning, and they had Coke and Diet Coke in the refrigerator. And you know how they always have like share a Coke with a friend? It used to have people's names on it. The Diet Coke that was facing me said share a Coke with homie, and I was like, that's so funny.
Did you buy that one?
I didn't. I just took a picture and I sent it to him.
Okay.
You know what's even better? I just went to this person's LinkedIn. You're connected to this person. And I'm sorry if you could figure out who you are. And I don't mean to be blowing you up on stage because I don't know who you are and I'm not connected to you. And I don't know if you're in the group or something like that. But like, this is the path people go down. That's what I'm saying, right? Like, if someone's gonna research, like, that's a ridiculous thing. Like, someone's gonna research you. Someone's gonna look you up. Like, this is why. I make this joke a lot. Okay, so a couple years ago, this has got to be 2011, 2012. I'm talking about. I used to go to Vegas a lot for a South by event that used to exist in Vegas. It was called South by Southwest V2V. Doesn't exist anymore. Don't look it up. Doesn't matter. I got sick one time while I was there. Michelle was with me. We had to leave the strip. Went to an emergency care. Got some medicine. There was a pharmacy in the building, and I went to the pharmacy. And I was like, "Hi, I'm Justin Escar," and they were like, "Oh, are you Justin Escar April 28th or Justin Escar May 30th or whatever?" And I was like, okay, number one, that's a HIPAA violation. And number two, wait a minute, there's another Justin Escar out there. And so I immediately made sure I had Justin Escar at all the socials. Because if someone's going to look me up, I want them to see consistency amongst all my socials. Now, granted, I don't post anymore on Twix. I don't really post on Facebook or Instagram unless I'm hosting the conference. I really don't ever post on LinkedIn anymore. But my point is that like I own that circuit. So if somebody's going to look me up, I have basically Google suppressed this other Justin Escar. I feel bad for him. He lives in Texas. I hope you're doing well in college, kid. My point, though, is that people will research you before doing work. And here's somebody who, if we're going to research this person, and again, I found this person on a whim from a group that has 20,000 members in it. And here I am finding this person. Their LinkedIn looks relatively professional. They have a nice headshot. They have a banner, the whole thing. But someone's going to go to your website and your website is broken. How are you proving that you're good at cybercrime when your website is hella broken?
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm like up in your piece today, people. I'm just like, number one, I drank a Celsius a little too fast, or maybe it's the caffeine. But like, I can't understand how people in the MSP industry cannot have a fully functional, clean-looking, modern website with the copyright of this year.
So I think there's two reasons.
I'm going to flip a table.
So number one, when you and I got started in this, maybe when I got started in this, you didn't have to change your website that often because it just wasn't that dynamic, right?
Sure.
The problem is that marketing changes much faster than it ever has before. And so the tactics need to change along with that, which means your website needs to change along with that. Also, I mean, if you were doing managed services in 2019, I guarantee you that your managed services offering in 2025 looks different.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, that's a discussion for the next show.
I guess that's your way of wrapping me up. Well, check us all out at facebook.com/group/allthingsmsp. Watch me have a mental breakdown at youtube.com/allthingsmsp. Like, subscribe. I would love to hear the reviews of this one, ladies and gentlemen. If your website sucks, better. If you don't know if your website sucks, send Eric a DM, and Eric and I will get on a call for free for 15 minutes with you and yell at you.
And we won't even record it.
We won't record it. If you would like website help, please pick up a phone, dial 1-800. I don't know. I don't have a number for this one. By the time this airs, Eric will have allthingsmsp.link/website help going somewhere.
I'll have a landing page.
That's all you need at this point. This is why I like lead pages. I use lead pages for the virtual consulting website and Gravity Repair Shop. It's so clean. It's so easy. It's secure. It does everything I need it to do. Can do blogs. I noticed I have to fix the mobile rendering, but like, I love them. Big shout out to the lead pages. They're expensive though. I'm not going to lie. And they can do things like capture. They can capture what's those like, everybody wants those modal pop-ups to like capture your information. I hate those, but that's what it's for. But whatever.
Yes, they're a little expensive, but they do what they're supposed to do. And I find them a little bit easier than some of the others.
And their support is great. We'll get them as a sponsor. Okay, cool. That's it. No more. I already said to follow. Oh yeah. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, do all those things. Listen, real quick, before we say goodbye, I really do love this community. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just saying, like, we can do better. That's it.
Okay.
Bye!
Thank you for listening or watching the All Things MSP podcast. If you liked this episode, go ahead and give us a thumbs up, hit that like button, and consider subscribing to catch all our weekly episodes. And from your host extraordinaire, Justin Escar, and myself, Eric Anthony, your humble producer and All Things MSP founder, thank you very much for spending your time with us. If you are not aware, All Things MSP started as a Facebook group and now supports over 6,000 members. We also have a LinkedIn page for those of you who don't do Facebook, and make sure to check out our YouTube channel for even more content. A special thank you to our elite sponsor, CoreView, helping you manage your Microsoft 365 tenants instead of them managing you. And a big thank you to our premier sponsors, Easy DMark, Helped, Goes Into, MoveBot, and Nodeware. And thank you to the rest of our sponsors. Without sponsors, we could not do what we do for the MSP community. Please consider checking them out. The All Things MSP podcast is a BizPow LLC production. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not reflect the thoughts and opinions of any employer, vendor, sponsor, or random taxi driver in the Metro DC area. Be sure to join us next week for another exciting episode.